And joining me now on 5 Live, Jaswinder Kaur Bath, wife of Colonel Bath, who's led this fight for justice. Also with me is Shashikant, former DGP of Punjab, and Kapil Sankla, an advocate in the Supreme Court for a legal perspective on this big story. Ms. Bath, first glimmer of hope that you will get justice with the Honorable High Court directing the police to explain the delay in filing the FIR?
Yeah, they've given. I have appealed because I was not getting any way out. I have finally approached the High Court and I'm looking for justice for my husband and his uniform and his pride, which I will not leave until and unless I get the justice.
Mr. Sankla, does the police action smack of delaying tactics, assault that took place on the night of 13th and 14th, and an FIR that was registered perhaps a week later, and that too not on the basis of the complaint filed by Colonel Bath, a decorated serving army officer, but on the complaint of a dhaba owner?
Well, this is wrong on so many levels, I do not even know where to start. First and foremost, there was a delay in registering of the FIR, and the poor lady in the middle of the night was made to run from pillar to post. This is in complete contravention to various judgments of the High Court and the Punjab Haryana High Court and the Honorable Supreme Court, including in Lalita Kumari, that said that the FIR will be registered irrespective of the jurisdiction, will be registered immediately without further delay, and it would be a contempt of the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court if the FIR is not registered. Not only the delay here, but the purposefully attempt of the police officers to digress the issue by getting a third party FIR and also making a lady run from pillar to post is absolutely shocking. What is even shocking today is that those 12 officers have merely been suspended and not arrested despite cogent evidence. You see that this is a case of attempt to murder, grievous injury, etc., etc. There have
So
been.
let's take this step by step, sir. Since you've shed legal light on this, I want to bring in Mr. Shashikant. The Punjab police is so well respected. It's a police force that has tremendous experience in tackling terror, in keeping our country safe. Why would the Punjab police behave in the manner in which it did? What is your appreciation, sir? You've led this police force.
Yeah, to start with, I'll say that hats off to the lady, Mrs. Bhatt. She is really courageous, and the way she has taken this particular fight, I'll say that hats off to, may God bless her with a long and happy life. And secondly, talking about this particular incident, certainly it's shocking, it's horrible, but what happens is an ailment, I think, which has crept into not only Punjab police, but I think most of the police forces all over the country. In each and every state, in each and every district even, they always form a small group of this kind of persons who are basically hoodlums, who just try to take law into their hands, and they are used for this kind of nefarious things like a shootout, like an encounter, etc. And then they are protected, and this power, this protection goes into their heads. They think that they become law unto themselves, and they behave, misbehave, and grossly misbehave on such incidents. Thank you.
Ms. Bath, explain why, even though a magisterial inquiry was ordered and under tremendous pressure, considering you were running from pillar to post, and on that night, in the same clothes that you had slept in, because your husband had been assaulted, your son had been assaulted, charges that they were under influence of liquor was being leveled on them. But even after that, you did not get justice till the time you approached the governor. Why does that not give you hope that there is a magisterial inquiry that was ordered? Why is it that Colonel Bath and you seek a CBI investigation, madam?
Yeah, I'll tell you the way as I told you about the whole incident earlier. As a
Yes.
lady, and a senior, my husband being into that post is not the question. Question is any lady who has run to save her husband or son and has approached SSP the whole night. And when I go approach him and I tell him I'm sorry that I'm coming in my nightwear, but I didn't have any option, and he sends me from one police station to another police station, not feeling that how would she feel going in her nightwear right and left, who has to go and be with her husband. And the way of torturous thing SSP Nanak did with me was, it was so torturous that if from night 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock, made me shuffle from one police station to another. It was shocking. The next day, they called the culprits to the office and then tell them to ask for forgiveness from me. And when they asked for forgiveness, I told them, just go out. I am not going to forgive you for what you have done. And then in front of DSP Satnam, their own senior police officials, these guys tells me that you are going to be in Patiala, I'm going to be in Patiala, and your son is here, so watch out. So
Oh my God.
inside the police station, they had
Oh
guts
my
to,
God.
scare me. And then SSP Nanak has been informed by that, and still they were roaming around without their name being mentioned in suspension. And they were using the government vehicles and the guards and roaming around. The guard is not needed by people who guard us. Guard is needed to people here who are being threatened by these. And
I
I
want to
don't
bring in
know.
Mr. Sankla. I want to
I want
bring
to
in
say
Mr.
one
Sank.
thing. I
Go
want
on,
to say
ma'am.
one thing on this.
Yes,
This
please.
is not a fight between army or police. It is fight between these few police people who have made it into a gunda raj. And this is not their doing. It is their seniors who have not been able to groom them properly and giving them a shield that you can do anything and you'll be escaped. There are so many cases pending on these four officers in Patiala
Okay.
that unless justice given to anybody, or everything is been compromised and settled by
That's
SSP
a very
himself. He calls me
pertinent point you're making, Ms. Bath. Man,
and
ma'am,
he
that's a
told me in his office, the SSP tells me compromise is only the option, ma'am. This is what he tells me after seeing
and
that
this is
brutal video where he has
one
beaten.
uniform to another uniform, one
And then
uniform to
you,
another uniform. It just defies logic. But
it
I want to once again bring
pains.
in Mr.
It
Sankla
pains.
for the
It
legal perspective.
no no.
For
Right.
It
the
pains
legal
when
perspective.
SSP. It pains when SSP
Yes.
saw all the videos and evidence and still never, when he suspended, my husband could only recognize four SHOs. Rest were told that they were the officers who said the people were involved. But these four people, he could not take four SHOs name on suspension. He could not tell the media why SSP, who's the district law and order in charge in Patiala, could not
Yes.
take action and take their name. What was the reason of
Mr.
hiding
Sankla,
their
that's
name?
a very pertinent point, Ms. Bath is making, that
Yes.
fine, the inspectors made a mistake. Fine, the inspectors were seen as these, encounter specialists, but at least an SSP, a senior police officer, an IPS officer is expected to restrain them. Unfortunately, even that didn't happen. So this is a failure of the system, sir, is it not?
This is an absolute disgrace, as I was saying. You see, the senior officers, only because the lady had the gumption, the power to make some noise and take help of media, is now in a way threatening her that yes, आप settle कर लो वरना आपकी family भी यहीं पे रहती है. This officer should also be suspended. Strict action should be taken. His wordi should be taken off, because this gives a wrong message to the police that don't worry, we'll suspend you for some time, but your officers will take place. Understand this: attempt to murder with dangerous weapon is punishable with up to 10 years of imprisonment. And the officer is saying, doesn't matter, compromise this. And even now, they are only getting suspended and nobody is getting arrested. What happens if some action, some illegal action is taken by them? I don't even understand how, under the circumstances, the hospital could have given them a clean chit. So that also needs to be checked, because you also know with the other case that took place that how
Yes.
even the hospitals are being manipulated when that boy was arrested. So there is
No,
Yes.
no,
much
and they've
more.
done this. They've done this because now they're saying there were two people who were arrested. This was the team which was DIG in the morning had awarded 10 lakh rupees for an encounter. And he had given them promotions that they will be promoted. And these were the same team which had come to Rajendra Hospital, and then they were drunk state, wearing their khaki trousers and civil shirts. And then the police have to make up a story that they had come there in their civil dress to catch a drug peddler with a headlight, with a police vehicle. because they didn't want to
Okay.
tell their identity, and but then identity was to be hidden with the police vehicle which was flashing on the light. You can see it in the
You
video.
know, who better than Mr. Shashikant to shed light on whether this is a systemic failure, not just of police personnel high on their power, but even an IPS officer who's expected to rein them in, sir. Is this a failure? I will not say collapse, but a failure of the system up the chain of command. Loyalty to lanyard became more important than loyalty to justice, sir.
It's a totally failure of system, I'll admit there. And to add this thing, I'll say that these hoodlums, some of these hoodlums, they become so powerful. In the past, I have seen several incidents where these hoodlums have the audacity of getting the SSP and even DIGs transferred out because they refuse to fall in their line. This is the state of affairs. That's why
My
I say it's
God.
a systematic failure, which I think unfortunately nobody is taking any action on it. There have been innumerable sort of reports on how the police morale should be increased, their training, etc., etc. These reports are just catching dust, no actions taken, and again, it's all leading to a systematic failure.
There's no
Okay.
nothing. This has become a
Ms.
Gunda
Bhatt, there's
Raj.
another point I want to put to you. There's another point I want to put to you. Your husband is posted in a very sensitive location, and since we are on TV, I'm not naming that location where he is. But his mobile phone was forcibly taken away. So was his identity card, and both you and he are very worried about that. Why do you think that that too should be independently investigated?
Yeah, because question is, see, his mobile department, that doesn't have any kind of a thing. But then question is, iCard, his it's a government treasury which is in his hand. If they would have photocopied his iCard, and they can, this see this terrorism, these people have no values for anything. If the somebody who has values would not, behave in such uncivilized manner, and this is all because their seniors are shielding them. Secondly, Punjab police, they've just, you must have heard about the fake encounter cases which have just opened up. I don't know how many houses. When I was sitting in the morcha, people came that they've been just killing. Each and every house has one person who's been encountered, and Punjab police should be asked that why all the encounters, the children of the people are killed. Why only Punjab police is getting bullets in their legs,
Okay.
and none of the Punjab police gets hurt. And secondly, this party, when
Ma'am,
they today they
these
said
are
that they
multiple
FIR.
questions, and we
No, one
perhaps
question I
will
want to ask,
will
I want
in
to inform. Today,
yes.
when they said that this police, that constable had got injured, that injury was made during this fight, or was it during the encounter? How do we know? It's the same
We
day.
will track that story very closely, and you're seeking a CBI inquiry. I hope truth prevails. For joining me here, Ms. Bath, Mr. Sankla, and Mr. Shashikant, many thanks. This is a fight for justice, and we will track the story closely.